Everybody have mics and everybody ready to go? Okay. Thank you everyone for being here. Good afternoon. My name is Jose Garza and it is my privilege to serve as the Travis County District Attorney. As many of you are aware, just a few minutes ago, Judge Wahlberg signed the Travis County District Attorney's Office's motion to dismiss the case against Carmen Mejia on the grounds of actual innocence. We'll have a few words for you, and then we'll do pull aside questions if you have questions for us. Let me start by introducing the Director of Special Litigation for the Innocence Project, Vanessa Pocken.
Thank you. We are incredibly grateful to the Travis County District Attorney's Office, to DA Garza and the Conviction Integrity Unit for the investigation that spanned 4 years into Carmen Mejia's claim of actual innocence. As was discussed in court today, back in 2003, Ms. Mejia was raising her 4 children who were under the age of 6. While she was breastfeeding her youngest daughter, a tragic accident occurred. One of the children tried to bathe the baby, and the water temperature was at dangerously high levels because the rental where she lived lacked water protection safety technology. And so as a result, within the water was coming out at such high temperatures that within a matter of seconds, the baby was injured and ultimately died as a result of those complications. Instead of recognizing this as the tragic accident that it was, police arrested Ms. Mejia and built a case against her based on faulty medical evidence. At the time of her trial, a doctor and another law enforcement expert testified that the baby's injuries had to have resulted from an intentional act of somebody holding the child down in the water, and that testimony just was flat out wrong. What's pretty unbelievable is at the time of trial, no medical burn expert had reviewed this case, and that was part of the new evidence that helped lead to Ms. Mejia's exoneration. In speaking with her children and hearing the firsthand accounts of what happened that day, also having the medical evidence in this case reviewed by a burn expert, and with the new information regarding the dangerously high water temperature levels that were coming out of the faucet, the medical examiner revisited the case and reversed the manner of death determination and ruled that this was an accident. Ms. Mejia is not alone in terms of her wrongful conviction. We have a pattern in this country, systematic pattern of caregivers being wrongfully convicted when accidents happen like this, or children die in their care because of illness or accidents. And what we saw here was a rush to judgment, often at times happening when the caregiver is a person of color. This case should not have been prosecuted, but we are grateful for the result that came today. Ms. Mejia's actual innocence has been acknowledged by the Court of Criminal Appeals, by the District Attorney's Office, by Judge Wahlberg today, and this should be the end of it. She should have walked free today. She should have been able to reunite with her children who were taken from her 20 years ago. Ms. Mejia has achieved what is almost the impossible by demonstrating her innocence and obtaining an exoneration, and for her now to be detained would just compound the injustice. She lost her lawful status that she had, her lawful immigration status, as a result of this wrongful conviction. And we hope that today's exoneration will be the first step in making her whole. We hope for her immediate release. ICE has ICE has discretion to allow Ms. Mejia to walk free. She does not have to be detained. And we hope that they will exercise that discretion to allow Ms. Mejia to come home to her family. It's been over 2 decades that she has been wrongfully imprisoned. To now have her just transferred to another form of imprisonment rather than experience freedom would be the ultimate injustice.
My privilege to welcome and introduce Congressman Greg Casar.
Good afternoon. I'm Greg Casar, and I'm proud to represent Austin, Texas in the United States Congress. I want to thank District Attorney Jose Garza for his leadership, and I want to thank the Innocence Project for your tireless pursuit of justice in this case and so many others' cases. Today, more than 2 decades after being wrongfully convicted, Carmen Mejia has been exonerated. Put simply, she spent 2 decades in jail for a crime that prosecutors, judges, and experts all agree that she did not commit. The Constitution makes us all a promise that the government cannot take a person's liberty without due process of the law. When our government breaks that promise to someone like Carmen Mejia, it breaks that promise for all of us. I'm grateful that Carmen stood up for all of our right to due process, and I'm grateful for everyone that has stood with her in that fight. Now, after being wrongfully imprisoned for 2 decades, Carmen must be allowed to rebuild her life here. Carmen Mejia is innocent. That is what the judge ruled today. But the Trump administration needs to stop detaining and incarcerating innocent immigrants, innocent Americans, innocent Austinites. In Carmen's case, she had legal immigration status when she was wrongfully convicted. The only damage to her immigration status happened here during the time in which a judge just ruled she was wrongfully incarcerated. And so we ask our government that has already wrongfully incarcerated Carmen Mejia for 2 decades to not wrongfully detain her 1 day longer. The idea of being wrongfully convicted and then being sent to a detention center is deeply un-American. Carmen Mejia, hoy un juez dijo que es inocente y las personas inocentes deben y merecen su libertad. La única razón que perdió ese estatus migratorio Carmen Mejia es porque la metieron a la cárcel hace 20 años. Entonces hoy, cuando esta administración sigue deteniendo y deportando a personas inocentes, estamos pidiéndole a nuestro gobierno que después de meter a Carmen Mejia a una cárcel por 2 décadas, injustamente, que hoy deben de darle su libertad para que ella pueda reconstruir su vida aquí. Hoy el juez dijo que esta condenada era injusta. Entonces el gobierno, después de causar esta injusticia, deben de decirle a Carmen Mejia, ¿sabes de qué? Puedes reconstruir tu vida aquí en Austin, Texas. Thank you.
Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. Those words once set out the lofty aspirations of a nation built on the backs of immigrants, but far too often, under this Trump administration, it has been, give me your labor, suffer the injustices of our broken systems, and get out. But it doesn't have to be this way. As Vanessa said, as Greg said, this administration has the discretion to do what is right in this case. In 2005, Carmen Mejia was wrongfully prosecuted and convicted of a crime she did not commit. She was sentenced to 3 concurrent terms of life in prison and spent almost 23 years in prison. When she was wrongfully incarcerated, her 4 children were 6 years old and younger. Earlier this year, in January, the Texas Criminal Court of Appeals issued an opinion declaring that Carmen was actually innocent. My heart breaks for the family of baby M, who suffered for so long. I hope that knowing the truth brings them some peace. Nuestros corazones están con la familia de la víctima, el bebé M. Nuestro sistema de justicia les falló a ellos y a Carmen Mejia. Carmen, although she is not here, I hope that our words will reach her. On behalf of the office of the Travis County District Attorney's Office, I am so sorry. You were wrongfully prosecuted and you are innocent. Carmen, en el nombre de la Fiscalía del Condado de Travis, le ofrezco mis disculpas. Has sido juzgada injustamente y eres inocente. I am so grateful to Judge Wahlberg for doing what is right. I'm so grateful to the Travis County Conviction Integrity Unit at the District Attorney's Office. I'm grateful to Art Guerrero and to so many others throughout this entire process who had the courage to stand up for what has been right. And of course, I am so grateful to the Innocence Project for your compassion and your advocacy. Please know that as your fight for justice for Carmen moves into our broken immigration system, we are committed to support you. We have a responsibility to vigorously fight for innocence, to make past wrongs right, and to fight injustice in our times. We call on federal officials of good conscience to do what is right in this case. We're happy to do, I think, pull-asides if folks have questions. If you have questions for any of us, let us know, and we're happy to take those. Oh, please. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, some quick remarks in Spanish. Carmen Mejia fue exonerada hoy después que el juez David Wahlberg desestimó los cargos de asesinato presentados en 2005. Esta decisión llega después que el Tribunal de Apelaciones Penales de Texas determinó el 22 de enero de 2026 que la señora Mejia es actualmente inocente. Este es un momento que Carmen Mejia ha esperado durante todo este tiempo. Ella ha mantenido siempre su inocencia, ha mantenido su verdad y por fin esta verdad llegó a la luz. Carmen Mejia tiene mucha esperanza del futuro, tiene el deseo de poder restablecer una relación con sus hijas, de poder sentir libertad y por fin vivir la vida que merece, una de paz, felicidad y justicia. Durante su juicio, Carmen Mejia tuvo que afrontar varias injusticias, incluyendo que nunca se llamó un experto médico que pudo analizar la evidencia y asesorar la evidencia que había presentado el Estado. El Estado presentó una teoría que la señora Carmen Mejia, la única explicación era que ella necesariamente tenía que estar involucrada en la muerte trágica de este bebé que ella estaba cuidando. Ahora sabemos que la evidencia demuestra que eso no era verdad y que las palabras que la señora Mejia siempre ha dicho, que era inocente, que no era una acción que tomó y que esto era un accidente, eran verdaderos. La señora Mejia en estos procedimientos ha podido presentar nueva evidencia que nunca fue considerada en el juicio inicial. Entre esta evidencia incluye evidencia de expertos médicos y ciencia que demuestra que el hogar en cual ella vivía no tenía las protecciones adecuadas para asegurar que esa agua no saliera tan caliente de la manera que salió ese día. Esta evidencia, esta ciencia y todo el nuevo testimonio que el juez ha considerado demuestra y apoya lo que ella siempre ha mantenido. Desafortunadamente, ahora la señora Mejia va a posiblemente tener que enfrentar otro obstáculo, y eso es de inmigración. La señora Mejia ha estado aquí todos estos años, más de 3 décadas, para poder establecer una vida para sus hijos. Y ese deseo para ese futuro fue quitado por esta condena incorrecta. Entonces, ahora tiene que afrontar esta injusticia de la posibilidad de ser detenida por inmigración. Inmigración tiene la discreción de tomar la decisión correcta y justa, y eso es no detener a la señora Mejia. Esperamos que tomen en consideración todos los factores presentes en este caso y que tengan empatía y que de verdad estén de acuerdo con lo que es justo aquí. Que la señora Mejia se pueda quedar en los Estados Unidos y por fin tener libertad y la oportunidad de vivir y restablecer una relación con sus hijos. Muchas gracias.
This way.
Thank you, guys. We're gonna let the family leave, and then I'll be back to help you out with any questions that you have, okay?